Bone app the teeth. As one does. I wonder what a bone app would look like a legitimate bone app. Probably something that, like, radiologists use. Alright, Chef's Kiss. Vaguely remember this level. Yep. Yep, they throw green beans. Homing green beans. Hey. This is a tricky bit to start on. I vaguely remember playing this and, like, just saying nuts to this. I'm just gonna use always cape. Like, do they stop throwing after a bit? No? Well, not after 3. 1, 2. It's a very narrow box to start in. There we go. I managed to get out of the box. For once. Okay, I was safe, but I wasn't. But in there 5 throwers? There are always 5 throwers. It's true. Just the nature of the beasts. Okay, so I guess the... Nope. This is just a really... Like, if I wanted to be playing Touhou, I'd be playing Touhou. Gotta wait and bait him out. They have really good targeting. Like this, you can't just kind of try and duck it like Magic Koopas. Is it slippery? Is it also slippery? Just need to get down there first. Yeah, it's also slippery. Okay. Nope. Not okay. It's just gonna be me dying over and over in the exact same spots. You might guess, I'm not great at Touhou. Though Touhou's a lot less about reaction and a lot more about memorizing and understanding patterns. And this is definitely a reaction type. But yeah, with all of the things left in QLDC, there's not a lot that I actually... that are high on my list of things I want to willingly play. There's no BGM. Yeah, I guess you're right. Huh, I thought it was just really quiet. There is BGM, it's just quiet. Oh. What's up, Jamie? It's getting interrupted every 3 seconds by me dying. But it's probably audible somewhere. The Vanilla Underground theme, constantly restarting. Oh. I just need to be better. Damn it. Like to see more than the first screen. I don't know how much of this I actually want to do. But I think this is all I remember if I did play this even for a few minutes, was just this. This one spot where there's all the green beans. Did I play this? Now I'm not sure. It was in my list. I thought I got extracted the list by automation, which is normally more accurate than my memory. This is number 10. Nope, didn't. Made this one anyway. It's on the screen. But I don't actually know who did this one. I guess I could just look. Wow, that's a lot of deaths. Quietmason. Okay, that scans. It's a name I should be afraid of. Why the ice? I want to try to get past this legitimately at least once. Nope. I suspect that you're going to have to do this every single time, though. Oh, I guess I'm not even looking at the right thing. Because my thought was that eventually the thrower would get sunk into the pit, but I don't think he is. So really what I need to do is just survive long enough so I can jump over him. And that's actually a bit easier than what I've been doing, I think. Well, conceptually easier. Conceptually easier. Can I guess I don't know if I can land on them. Because I haven't done it yet. I thought I could land this guy, but I think he's fully protected. So it's not going to work out that way. Yeah, I want to say that I saw one of the judges play this. I felt like I've played or seen more of this level than I remember. But I might have been just getting it mixed up with the last level, the troll level I played. Damn it. Fast green beans. Like, get hit by the green bean or him? Either way, that makes me more reticent to jump on these chefs. I do like that they have those white hats, whatever they're called. This well-known fact, the taller the hat, the more important the chef in the Escoffier system. Which is the French system that everybody, you know, talks about. Wait, what? Okay. What? What was... Okay. Maybe I can actually land on that sucker. Maybe I can't. I'm beginning to think that I need to land on him to get him to break the blocks for me. Yo. Why did I... You know, you should be able to spin jump on green beans. You just should be able to. Eh. I guess in other news, I tried to go to a art exhibition, only to discover that the exhibition had been, well, canceled isn't the right word, but it had been removed. Let's try something. Nope. Apparently, the particular exhibition had been removed a week earlier because they had someone come in with a new exhibition and it was just gone, despite what the flyers had said. But the artist was there, so at least I got to talk to her. That was kind of fun. She pointed out that there were still a few pieces lying around from her exhibition, which was nice. That they were purchasable, or I could go look on Instagram, and yeah, I just wanted to look at the pictures. Not really all that caring about purchasing specific pieces of art. Dang. Yeah, now that I know what I'm needing... Oh, that wasn't gonna work. But anyway. And then I wandered off and played pinball. It just felt like the right thing to do. It actually pretty good. I didn't get it recorded anywhere, but I did really well on Jaws. like 300 million, which was nice. Got like 2 free games. Don't usually do that well. So I did pretty good at Avengers. That was fun too. But did not, in fact, win a free game. I did not, in fact, earn a free game. I just won one because the numbers added up. Kind of wonder how tunable those are. Is it really about a 1 out of 10 chance, or is the game just messing with you? What's up, Groovy Gadget? How you doing? Alright, there we go. Like to see the rest of the level now. I mean, now that I know what I need to do, it doesn't actually help me in doing it. You're good? Excellent. I could have gone. I get too focused on the bullets and I don't pay attention to the timer. And then there's ice. Despite what Knack 2 may have told you, ice is not, in fact, nice. Huh? It was nice to see the other part of the level for at least a little bit. Yep. I needed that sucker multiple times. Okay. No way I can actually get one of these other guys to do that, can I? Nope. Do I get to keep the mushroom? No, of course not. That'd be too easy. But yeah, it's just basically my day. Went and listened to audiobook. Wanted to do a few random places. And came home. Wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my day, and so I just kind of went with this. Tomorrow, I also don't know what I'm going to do. I do know I'm going to moderate Reverie. That's a thing that is definitely happening tomorrow. Taking too long. I'm close enough to well to the point where I should just do it. And I'm pretty sure I should be able to be in decent puzzling peak performance. Whatever. Close enough. I could do puzzles. Well enough to do puzzles, I guess, is the real statement there. I am not good at this kind of thing. Also, what kind of chefs work inside of a freezer? That is completely just butcher territory. Need all the brain juices? Fair. What's up, Fire? How you doing? Nope. I just gone for it. Gotta bring all my brainwaves. Always loved the Futurama episode with the giant brains. I, the big brain, am winning! I think it was called The Day the Earth Stood Stupid. Oh. I'm doing that thing where I'm focusing too much on the green beans again. As opposed to doing anything else. And then I just let him get me. Fry is deed. Now I will learn the earth for no reason. Yeah, I love that. It's like a mildly better version of the Page Master. Because that wasn't a very good movie. It is on my list. There is apparently a point-and-click adventure game based upon the movie, and I want to play that at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's truly a piece of a time there. I did see the Pagemaster in theaters way back when. Not sure why. We just decided to go watch it. I don't even think it was like all of us. I think it was just like me and my elder brother. Or maybe older brother or older sister, I forget. Whoever had a driving license at that point. Would she have had a... No, maybe she wouldn't have had a driver's license at that point. No, definitely not. No, definitely had to be elder brother. What's up, Risky Fondue? How you doing? Kind of rambling because I'm stuck in purgatory, green bean purgatory. Which, ironically, is the worst kind of purgatory for me, because, man, I don't even like green beans. That was the worst thing I could have done there. Periodic attachment check? I downloaded it. I looked at it. I did it last stream, I think. I have it open still. I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, that does look a lot like what I do. You definitely have all the stuff in there to do the sprite table realignment and whatnot. So there's more effort. But yeah, I looked at it. It was cool. I thought I mentioned it, but I must not have. But yes, I can now download attachments again. Chrome has unfucked itself after being opened and closed again. Okay. How do you pronounce Earl? Usually URL, not Earl. I think most web things I generally pronounce by spelling them out rather than pronouncing them. Like href. MIL. URL. Luigi is real. You just gotta believe. Believe in Luigi. And it's GIF. It is definitely not GIF. It is definitely not GIF. I'm glad they went and finally made that clear what it was in the later... Did they change that? Was that visible in Odyssey, or did they only actually make that visible in the Mario 64 remake? .net.org. Yeah. Those are all good TLDs. Was thinking back the other day, how, like, you know, we used to have so many fewer TLDs. Like, you have all the country ones, but those are the main ones. And, of course, there was a big old scandal back in the day about how, you know, in the United States, governmental websites get the TLD of .gov to let you know that it's a real government website and not some sort of phishing expedition, which is nice. Sometimes they still end up redirecting you to, like, .com sites for other weird reasons. Like, I think I had to pay a toll fee in Florida, and it redirected me to a .com, which was weird, but whatever. But there was whitehouse.com, which was not affiliated with the actual Clinton White House. It was, in fact, a porn site. And children would go like, oh, I will just go to any old URL I can think of and put a .com at the end. Yeah, that caused some problems. Of course, as a kid, I also did this. I'm like, you know what'd be cool? Laffy Taffy. But they have a cool website. Yeah, some countries were definitely blessed with good TLDs for the purposes of selling. .tv is definitely one of them. I looked into buying a .dealer address once, because I thought it'd be cool to own one. And then I looked at the requirement and realized, oh god, I am not paying... I'm willing to do some dumb things with my money, but I'm not willing to pay $1,000 a year for a .dealer address, or a domain name. That's just out of it. It's apparently meant for car dealerships, which is weird, but... and seems relatively superfluous since COM exists, but hey, the TLD gold rush was certainly a thing. I am not certain even trying to get that is worth it. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing to bring you love? What's the weirdest .com type thing? The top level domain? That's a good question. I would say the dealer thing probably is the weirdest thing I know of. But there were a lot of people who were there were just a lot of different ideas about what to do with that stuff for a while, so. I need the second bounce out of him, so I need to be careful there. I definitely don't think that adding more TLDs has really made the internet a better place. And certainly there have been some where, like, this is just a bad idea and it shouldn't have been done. .zip. .zip was a bad idea. .xyz. Yeah, I got no problem with that. And the honest truth is most of these cost a lot more than just registering regular domains. Oh, actually, this is a good one. There is a top-level domain for a small portion of Spain that is .cat. And I love the fact that it exists, but the problem, of course, is that it's supposed to be used for the purposes of expressing culture in the state of Catalan, I think it is. I just let him... No. So it doesn't usually get used correctly, but we had a .cat once, and all we did really... And all the guy who registered it did was, he put a tiny bit of translated text on there. Dang it. Reminds you, same friend had a private Minecraft server under the IP of fruitloopstudio.zip. Yeah, Google added the .zip domain a couple years, like a year ago, and everyone told them it was a terrible idea. And they did it anyway, which was dumb. Just Google being Google. Your mom wanted you to make her an email, and she thought Outlook would randomly select a pair of words, and asked it to happyface.com. Huh. Interesting. I mean, there were a lot of email providers back in the day. Before it basically has now come down to just Microsoft and Google. And if you're willing to pay for it, someone else. I mean, honestly, and even an awful lot of those other ones are just Google. Like, for my domain, if you email me patcdr at patcdr.net, it will just send it to... it'll send it to me, but it comes out via the... Oh, no. No. But it all comes through Google servers. I had a similar thing set up for another domain with Microsoft. I think that fell off at some point. Probably should actually get that fixed, because that is an email address that I use periodically for things. Google.rar.zip.rar.tar.gzip. Old email address was at an isp.com. Like what? Because your mom bought an email when you were younger? Ah. I mean, yeah, there were those. That was a pretty common thing back in the day, back when there were a million dial-up ISPs. They could actually differentiate themselves by offering things like bigger email inboxes and all that, and having better domains. We were on AA.net for a while, which was pretty decent. They even had Usenet access to alt binaries and such, which we basically never used. Or was it MS? How did I get access? There was one ISP we had where that was the case. Now that must have been AA.net. A million years ago. I doubt it exists anymore. I guess that also reminds me, Neopets once had an ISP. Yeah, they once did their own dial-up ISP thing for some reason. Dude? Your mom asked you to do this in 2022? Oh my. I assume this was a much earlier thing. Not good with technology. It's hard and getting harder. But yeah, all binaries used to be like the really cool place to do your piracy. After Napster died, that's where you could go and just download things. But you had to know how all that stuff worked and get yourself a Usenet client. Newsreader, as it was called. Complete pain in the butt. Reason why most people didn't. I think there is still sort of a cottage industry of people giving Usenet access, selling Usenet access. At least there was a few years ago, but I don't do enough piracy anymore for me to care. One of those, this was never meant to be abused this way, but boy is it. Because it was meant to just, like, be a place where nerds could post messages to each other. You know, until that September where AOL got access to it, and then it became a place where everybody posted messages and full of spam and whatnot. Which is interesting. I think I actually read about the first Usenet spam that was ever sent. It was an interesting article because they actually found the people who did it, and they were like, yeah, no regrets. That was great. We made so much money. Are you kidding me? My desire to play this level legitimately is rapidly dropping. Just because it's just going to be a lot of dodge the bullet. Not even shoot the bullet, just dodge the bullet. Alright, you know what? I think we're going to give ourselves a cape and test something out. You know, I really should make it so admin only also enables. There's no real reason for it not to. Oh, right, because I already take care of lowering it just in case. Hooray. Okay. You know? Ah, well. Let's say I didn't think this through, but it worked out well enough. I didn't need to, like, drift through him. No. In fact, I don't even need this sucker anymore, really. Okay. Alright, so what would they require? What is being required of me? Alright, so first off, because I've already used him up, I can't actually get back up here without... Wait a second. Don't be stupid. So then I have to dodge all this nonsense. Come through here. There's the midway. Okay, so that's actually not as bad as I thought. There was an actual midway, and I appreciate those. Then there's a coin maze? Oh, it just kills you if you get stuck there. Okay, so let's take a look. Then you pulp them, and then you'd need to... What would you need to do after that point? Alright, I'm gonna unload always cape, because I think that's reasonable. Give myself one freebie. It's probably not gonna last anyway. But Usenet. They used to be where you'd actually find, like, all the new releases. There was a way of naming things that was very specific to us. You could actually tell when you were looking at, like, a torrent or something that had come from Usenet. I'm not sure all that was worth it. Maybe I can't do that. I'll give it some actual legitimate tries. Because at least I'm making some progress here. Except when that happens. That is really annoying. Really hope you guys can't hear that. Sounds like someone's using a power drill upstairs. I'm not entirely sure why. At this hour. I have some other ideas about what it could be. I don't think it is. It's based upon the noise. Yeah, there's like a hierarchy in Usenet, because everything comes out of specific locations. You quickly recognize which things are which, and there's a whole bunch of like really silly ones. Because it was basically this was like an internet forum, right? It had all this spots for all of the various nerd arguments. You wanted to have like alt Windows sucks. Things about Star Trek. What was also interesting is like companies could in fact have their own little domains or own little address parts set up. So for instance, Sun had a bunch, or no, Netscape had a bunch that were under its control. Not exactly sure how that worked. I don't actually know the ins and outs of Usenet all that well. I think the last time I put any serious thought to Usenet was when I was reading through the Unix Haters Handbook, which is a fun book, if you know enough about Unix to hate parts of it. But that is kind of a requirement, otherwise it's silly. The foreword's worth reading, if nothing else, because, man, I've never read a foreword quite as visceral as that. But of course, the gall of asking, like, one of the guys who, you know, invented Unix to come and do the foreword for your book about how much it sucks, you can kind of see where they're going with that. Oh, I shouldn't have jumped. But it's interesting. It's an interesting book. Comes from a spot in time that doesn't really exist anymore, because no one really spends any time arguing about like which Unices are the best. I have no idea how to effectively dodge in this tiny spot. Because pretty much the only people who really use Unix, like any Unices, is pretty much just down to Linux and free BSDs. Or other BSDs, because you got free and open. And I think people still use open for some things. I forget which is which, but one of them's known for running on top of basically any dang fool piece of computing hardware. And the other's known for actually being a lot more secure. And I always forget which is which. I think the open is the secure one, and the free is the one that runs on toasters. But don't take my word for it. We are so many years out from the Linux BSD wars. And Slashdot has only continued to slope into irrelevancy. So where else would you have these arguments anyway? Not, like, on Twitter. That's silly. Dang it. Or on, what else would you have it on? I don't know. Oh, wait, Mastodon. Mastodon's the place to have arguments about which Unix is the best. That's clearly the correct social network for it. Co-host would also be a reasonable choice. Because it's the Tumblr replacement for gay for technologists, and I'm certain that they have strong opinions about these things. No, I don't think I like this level this much. It's definitely... Oh. Good moment to rest my hand anyway. Take a stretch break. Hello, Purgatory Razor. Thank you for the raid. How are you doing? Hope your stream was good. Let me do the shout out. Did I set it to auto pause? No, that's just how message boxes work in SMW. It's a legit SMW message box. So watch, I'll clear it. And then I'll proc it again. And it just goes. Doing well? Nice. Yeah, no, this is just some USB to any SNES technology that I have in this. It works on most SMW hacks. There's some it doesn't work well. Nope, not an overlay. 100% on the Super Nintendo. I could see how people think that, but no, it's not. It was a lot easier to, frankly speaking, given my abilities with OBS, it's a lot easier for me to rig it up in game than it is to do an OBS overlay. I am not very good. Thank you for the follow. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get hit. Yep, there it goes. And I'm fucked. There we go. Well, thank you for the follow. Love writing here. Have the cool shit going on. I mean, it's an accumulation of an awful lot of SMW stuff over the years. And in fact, I've been sitting down. I did some programming today. Well, almost did some programming today. I configured something to work in Visual Studio, which is kind of in the same domain as programming. I wanted to get a thing that would let me read and set the volume in Windows. And it just doesn't exist. I don't know why. So I found the API for this. I found the documentation for all the bits I need. And now I just need to get it to run. The problem was, or get it to write the code. The problem is I want this to run on Windows 98. And so I can't just pull out Visual Studio 2022 and have it work. It doesn't support Windows 98 anymore because, dear God, why would you want to write things on Windows 98? So I downloaded Visual Studio 6, which turns out has the most hilarious license key algorithm. It's the one where you can just enter all ones and it works. I'm probably hosed. I'm not hosed. Come back, Charlie. I don't know how to do this part. That's not how you do that part. But yeah, Visual Studio 6 doesn't want to run on Windows Windows 10. So I tried installing it. It tried to update my weird Microsoft JVM installation, which doesn't exist anymore because Microsoft got sued about that. So that didn't help. Are there ice physics? Yes. It's icy. How you doing, Wargoose? So I downloaded the next Visual Studio, and that took a while because Archive.org just didn't really want to give me the ISO. Like, I had to restart that download, like, I swear 20 times. I'd get like a few kilobytes here and there, and then eventually get more megabytes, but it just took forever. And yeah, I eventually got it today, and then installed it, and it kept popping up this, I don't think it's gonna work on Windows 10 pop up, and I'm like, I don't care, it's Windows, it should just effing work. It's Windows, that's the guarantee. Old software works on Windows. You have binary compatibility way back when. And it ain't like it's a 16-bit executable or anything. 2005 was like the Visual Studio I cut my teeth on. So I know it'll work. But anyway, and then I had to spend a while arguing with it to actually load up the API I need to use. Because I thought I could just include a header, and it could not find the header, so I looked online and did some reading. And eventually, I found the two things I needed. One, I needed to be linking against a specific lib, which I wasn't doing and had to do manually, which is fine. That's expected with this sort of thing. And two, I didn't need to include the specific header file. The specific header file is already in Windows. This might work. Nope, not gonna work now. Didn't mean to kick that down. I have to play this on its terms. Well, that sucks. So long story short, well, anyway, so I added that link, and then the other thing I had to do was the header file. So the header file, actually, I didn't need to put the header file. This needs to be written in C. I can't write in C# or anything, because I don't think I have C# installed on Windows 98, nor do I want it to, or .NET, really. So the other thing I had to do, as it turns out, was remove a weird define. So in Windows applications, the short version is Windows is done. No, it's just a matter of knowing how to do the right thing. Even if I want to do this in Linux, it would have been a headache, probably. Though I probably could use, you know, modern tooling and, like, use Python or something as opposed to using ancient Windows APIs. Please don't run off. I hate that, Chuck. But yeah, what I need to do is actually remove pound define Windows lean and mean. Because basically what lean and mean does is it just includes the parts of the windows.h file that it thinks you're going to need. And windows.h is not a small file. Nuts. Like, it's actually a pretty beefy header file, and beefy header files, as anyone who's coded any amount of C++ can tell you, add a lot of time to compilation. Nope. So having removed that, it now compiles. I haven't actually gotten it to call anything yet. I simply was using the symbol and assigning it to a void star. Just to make sure I had the symbol before I sat down and did any actual coding. Because I've got like a few things I want this to do. All my belly aching, I actually get through that section fairly consistently now. And then he walks off the edge anyway. But yeah, it was still fun to get back into that realm again, because I just haven't done it much, like C programming or Windows programming in a while. And honestly, that kind of thing is the biggest headache when it comes to programming. It's not actually figuring out how to do things, like, algorithmically. It's figuring out how to convince your environment to let you do the thing you want to do. That's almost always a bigger challenge. What? But yeah, it's a consistent problem in pretty much any executing environment. It's just how to get all of your things to play nice with each other. Oh, wow, that was... I really wanted to save the hit so I don't have to do this part, legit. I don't know how to do this part, legit. Like, gives you 2 mushrooms, but still. Huh? Oh, I did it legit. Okay, cool. That wasn't too bad. I mean, it was pretty bad. Okay, so now this part... Wait, what is going on over here? Oh, that's the block for him to stand on. I don't know why that berry is there, because I don't think I can get a Yoshi in this level. Nuts. Oh, it actually hit me off screen. That usually doesn't happen. Often wish you'd done computer science in college. Taught yourself some HTML, CSS, and Visual Basic for doing extra stuff in Excel and Outlook, but have no formal coding training. Always had fun doing the stuff you've done. Nice. I mean, an awful lot of the computer science stuff that they actually teach in college is much more conceptual. Learning how and where to use algorithms. A lot of fun classes. Definitely there were a lot of good memories out of those. I really enjoyed the hardware stuff at the time. There was a mandatory hardware class where you got to learn about AND gates and OR gates and all that lovely stuff. And then after that, you had to take the mandatory how processors work class. Okay. Even if I'm small, what do I... Oh. I'm soft locked. These things happen. That's why I built the kill command. I swear it. That one has been worth its weight in gold. But the hardware class that was really awesome was the VLSI class, which was basically an exercise in writing your own video card. And we also did have to do some, like, rigging for that, too. So, like, at the end of the day, we had a project that if you... Like, you synthesized it onto an FPGA, and it would, in fact, render things. So I could render a spinning teapot, and that was it, though. The requirement for the class was to do it in black and white, but there was at least one group who decided to do it in color. Which was a bit of a problem just because of the RAM constraints on the boards. You didn't have that much RAM. Doing it in black and white meant that for each pixel only needed to be 1 byte in size. It also meant you could reuse your line drawing code for your Z buffer stuff. You are not expected to understand this. Because really, doing the Z buffer stuff is just the same as... you're drawing a line in a different direction. If that makes any sort of sense. It's weird. But it was a good class. It's just really friggin' hard. And of course, once again, I learned the important lesson of don't team up with the blind guy when you're doing visual projects. Still not sure what I'm actually supposed to do with these guys. Yeah, the other important lesson is if you're going to do wiring projects, don't team up with the colorblind guy. That was another bit of a experience there. Because typically you want to have your wire colors mean something, but when someone's red-green colorblind, well, that doesn't usually end up working out all that hot. Still worked in the end. We had a minor issue where I think our timing was off, and so I ended up just saying nuts to this and put in a longer wire, and it worked. It shouldn't have worked, but it worked. The project in question was to read a credit card strip, which isn't actually that hard if you're starting with someone else's credit card. How do I keep getting caught there? You start off with a module that actually reads the credit card, but the challenge here was to do it using PALs. Programmable Array Logic. I forget what they actually stand for. Or PLAs. We never could keep those two straight. But they're programmable chips of a sort, where you can actually give them sort of their own logic, their own lookup tables and a few other things. They're not as complicated or as powerful as FPGAs, obviously, but you can still get a lot done with a few PALs. Really hate that they can still hit you off screen. That's literally what this is here for. It's like I'm kind of hoping they'll despawn. And they're not. Man, I actually read a newspaper today. I forgot about that. Was waiting to get some water at a place. I threw it the wrong way. Water and a beer before playing pinball, and there was a newspaper that actually read it. Because I haven't read a physical newspaper, in years. The biggest item of news is that there's a particular bike path that's been in deliberation for, I want to say, 20 years. So in Seattle, there's this bike path called the Burke-Gilman Trail. It's a bike walking path, basically anything not motorized, more or less. You know, maybe waiting there is actually the wrong game. Because then I can just, I should just go faster. And it extends all the way from a northern area called Kenmore down to UW, and then around to Gasworks Park, and a few other places. Goes through Fremont and Ballard and other places, before kind of ending abruptly at a Fred Meyer. And there's I think it's 1.8, based upon having read the fact that it was 1.8 miles of track that have just not been built. And the problem is that the place where it should be, because it was a rail-to-trail conversion, the place where it should be built, they don't want to build it there because it's actually a pretty heavy industry zone in that area. There's a lot of, like, boat stuff and things to help with boat stuff around there. What am I supposed to do now? Oh, there's very hard to see tile down there. Okay. So the two arguments have been either to put it on that specific road, Silsol, or to make it go down Market. I'd make it go down a different street, which the cyclists don't want it to go down the other street, because cyclists are weird. They really want it to go through the industrial area. I think the argument of, we run heavy trucks through here, we don't want to hit cyclists, is a pretty good one. But the cyclist lobby also tends to do things that gets them killed. So I don't know, maybe they're just all suicidal. I just don't know. They're weird people. Just use the invisible platform. Yeah, definitely. This is something I actually marked down when moderating, is if you put a platform off the bottom of the screen in the non-title safe area, like, just don't do that. Like, I can see it now. They are the worst. I mean, the thing is that, like, at least if they were in Seattle, they tend to be even worse because, like I said, they don't make good decisions about bike infrastructure. Wait, I don't want to get hit because I can go through this small. I'm a moron. Like, as an example, they put a bike lane on Broadway up in Capitol Hill, and they also decided to put a trolley line there. No. Every command is almost every command is ackled to specific things. Oh no, it's not just moderator only, it's me only. I have different levels of permissions. So there's me specifically. Quite literally, it is literally just like it literally says me. That's the name of that category. Can you be an admin? No. Then there's moderator. I also check for VIP and subscriber, but I don't do anything with them. Like, conceptually, I could, but I've never felt the need. Alright, we're in new territory here. Okay, I want that. What am I expecting here? Oh, I need to jump on that. Oh, you piece of shit. You did indeed try. I mean, I only have, like, 3 mods. And most of them don't ever show up. And I also don't expect them to show up. Find the VIP designations kind of useless. I mean, people seem to like them. That's why it's sort of a channel point thing here. You pay a certain amount, I think it's 50k, and bam, you are VIP. Or you can designate someone else as VIP. I'm okay with this. Alright. Cool. No! Can you redeem it for mod? No. Oh no, not that kind of mod. The mod that can get... Yeah, no, I'd have to actually manually edit the list of people who are me, which I've done a few times when I've needed to. So, like, when chat hacks was... When I had more people... Like, a couple times I've done, like, marathon stuff with chat hacks, I would make other people me, just to make it so that they could also do things. But then I changed how the ackling system worked, I think, after that, and it no longer became it was no longer necessary. More trustworthy make you? No. How you doing, Fries? Know what my face looks like? Gets you mod? Nope. Like, the thing about mod is, like, mod only matters if you actually have a channel that needs heavy moderation. I so very rarely have to do anything. I'll say I do in Blackbird. Like, for the most part, I don't even get, like, bad spam all that much because of judicious keyword blocking. Which, Twitch finally introduced a feature to show you how well your keyword blocking is working. I think it's pretty awesome. Turns out that blocking the word follows is really effective. And blocking the word Belgium annoys Fries. So, good things to know. Yeah, there's no value in keeping that. Okay. Oh. Oh my. And apparently it was a joke. Son of Power. Well, thank you for the raid. How you doing, DJ Chateau? I think I got that. I know a little bit of French. What's up, GoPro Slow? Yo. I got it? Oh, thanks. Always good. Always feels good to get it right every once in a while. You're first. I know a little bit. I don't actually know the rules of pronunciation of French, but I do recognize a word when I see it. GoPro said I'm cool. Ah, I appreciate that. Anyway, thank you for the raid. What are you up to? What were you up to? Hope it was something fun. I'm playing the last few QLDC levels from the first batch back in 2021. And I've only got a few left to go. And most of the ones at the bottom here. Chateau, I believe, is house. It's different from chapeau, which I believe is hat. Omelette de fromage. It's extended your friends. Omelette du fromage, yes. I remember the Dexter's Lab as well. Don't pronounce most of the letters. It's true. You could just ignore most of the vowels and most of the X's, and bam, French. It works. Mix between house and fortress. Ah, it's a fancier house. All right, let me do this now, because this is actually a thing that's happening in the game. It actually is popped up a message box, and oh, thank you for the follow. Enjoy your fish. So it actually pauses the game for me when that happens, and everything that happens when the message box happens. Well, watch that flub the jump. I did not flub the jump. Wait. Oh, I see what I have to do. Is that a baked potato? A villa? Yeah, there we go. We're doing hacker things. What kind of hacker things? There's a great number of possibilities here. Oh, did no one do that? I don't think anyone did that. I mean, Fries, do you want to do your one job, or should I just do it? I have it rigged up so anyone can do the shout-out command after a raid because I thought it was funny. Thank you, Fries. Oh, security researcher. Okay, so you're doing real hacker things. Yeah, I used to do a bunch of CTFs with my friends, but it's been a very long time. We did okay a few years back when a lot of us had more free time. Hack the box? Ah, nice. I vaguely remember hearing about that. Like, those are VMs that are set up in specific ways, and you, well, hack it. Because that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Oh. That didn't work. Very CTF-like. Using opportunity to teach others what you know while practicing own skills. Nice. Yeah, if I recall correctly, those are set up more like real-world type challenges, where here's a website, here's its Redis instance and all that, as opposed to the more CTF. Here is an arbitrary service. Have fun with your like app that counts chickens or whatever it does on the specific socket. Yep. Most of the time. Okay, so sometimes they go do weirder things. You know, that was not the way I wanted that to go. Okay. This is fine. You know, everything about that was terrible. Like, try Hack Me. Has a lot of themed boxes. Gotcha. Like I said, it's been a long time. We were, like, ranked top 10 on CTF time once. I forget what year it was, though. Nicolas Cage or Cowboy Bebop. You color me intrigued. I may have to look this up after the stream. Gotta hack the Nicolas Cage. Doesn't have quite the same gravitas as hacking the Gibson, but it's probably more productive. Cage match. There we go. You know, I'm liking the second half of this a bit more than I was liking the first half. think the setups have gotten more creative. I got the Potato Man. Oh, I think that was the end of the level. Clues are based on his movies. And there was a Rick and Morty one. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Dig in the chat box. Oh, thanks. It's not actually running on Windows 98. I just like Windows 98 and have a Windows 98 machine right here. It's currently holding up the Super Nintendo. But I do bust it out to play things, like I need to finish Fry's request of Baldur's Gate 2. Wasn't gonna lecture you. I'm not. I found the CSS on Hacker News like a million years ago. I'm like, you know what? I should make a chat box. Because my prior things were pretty bad. People still get to see one of them every once in a while. When I do chat hacks, I give people full access to my Super Nintendo's... Mostly full access to my Super Nintendo's RAM. And play Mario... And then attempt to play Mario World. It pops up the older instance of it, which is pretty awful looking. I really do need to patch that up. Make it less awful. Whiff. I think those are potatoes. Oh, the ads, yeah. Thanks. There's more. There's a lot more. The ad thing I implemented as an April Fool's Day joke. Quite literally, it's a working self-service ad portal. You pay with the ads for the ads with lambdas, and then they get displayed both here and on my website. I, of course, do look at what they link to and what the pictures are, so that I can know in advance whether or not it's going to do something terrible. But other than that, it's pretty much open season. It doesn't cost much. I think it's like 500 lambdas. Being a Twitch channel point thing, that doesn't cost too much. And then turning it on is kind of cheap too. Did I ever get around doing that? I meant to like get around to where like if you bought the ads, if you bought an ad, it also procced. I can't believe I keep messing that up. It would also proc showing the ads, but browse at 50 toolbars and no actual page space. Lingscars.com. I don't think I know about that one. I did actually do... Oh, what the heck? No, I don't want to locate... That's weird. I have to look. Oh, God! God. That's amazing, actually. I love this. Wonder if it actually works on Windows 98. Yeah, there were a couple of like old kind of web fiction-y things that I really liked that were around in the 90s. And I wanted to play them on stream, and so I used the power of Windows 98 to do so. If you've never heard of Caverns of Blood, they have this little... It was a Halloween website that had a whole bunch of like silly things like the Death Clock and Halloween costume tips, things like that. But they also had 2 games on there, one of which was called the Caverns game, and your goal was to get to the end, and if you got to the end, you got a cute little graphic you could put on your website telling everybody that you died well in the Caverns of Blood. And they also had one called Castle Quest, which was designed and optimized for, like, web TV. And I finally got my hands on a copy of the Castle Quest HTML earlier this year. And, yeah, I put it back up on the internet, so there's Bloody Caverns and Questing Castle. BloodyCaverns.net and QuestingCastle.net. If you're interested in playing, old, weird mashup things. I'll have to take a look at this, too. I think I've seen this one. Oh, that's perfect. It's got scrolling. Wait, they're in Seattle? Huh. I could go there. I don't feel the need to right now, but I could go there. Is this SMW with S? Okay, so what this actually is, this particular hack uses regular old Mario. But I have a system to change out the sprites dynamically. So if you look in channel points again, you can see there's a change character thing. Change character sprite. And yeah, you can change the character sprite from Mario to a ridiculous number of options. I just started harvesting them, like, everybody loves Pokey. Fun fact, this Pokey uses just Mario colors. Doesn't actually use its own unique palette. What did I write it in? A combination of Python and 65816. Like, this is all happening on a real Super Nintendo, so that I have to do certain things a certain way. And yeah, it loads it at runtime. I'm using a flash card, and so this is about as authentic as I can get without, you know, building it. I guess like if I built my own SNES, it wouldn't be authentic either, because that's not authentic. But anyway, the point being, this is real hardware, so I do have to do it by using by playing the game the way it's meant to be played. Yeah, so the bot, the Speedy Cat bot manages an awful lot of this stuff. There's actually a second bot that's for managing ads that is supposed to stay online when I'm not online, and it mostly works. For some reason, the Python IRC library is really flaky when it comes to, like, reconnecting properly, but eh. It works well enough, and I don't feel like it. Flash my own card to be more authentic. I suppose it's not the world's hardest thing to do. I had some friends who were working on making their own flash card for a bit. They almost got to the point where they could run Super Mario World without it crashing. But they had some problems, some weird issues with impedance. Like the EE side of it was giving them trouble. They put up boards and everything. Like they were going pretty far on it. Would have been cool if they'd finished. Like, it's not that challenging. At least the, like, what you need to do to... This has gone horribly wrong. This has gone horribly wrong. Like, your basic NES flash card doesn't need to be that smart, because it doesn't have to have that much stuff on it. A good NES flash card would have to have an awful lot of stuff on it, because there's a million different mappers and enhancement chips. There's, again, the second thing you mentioned, language-wise, kind of ASM. Yes, so the SNES uses basically an extended form of 6502, the classic processor assembly language that was used in such things as the NES and the Apple II. This is an extended version to make it so it can do 16-bit stuff, and it's a bit awkward because you have to, like, you'll be frequently setting the sizes of your registers. Like, you have 3 registers, an accumulator where, you know, you accumulate. It does most of the things. And then you have, what was the other one? Then you have X and Y, which are basically index registers. You use them for memory ops. You can also use them for temporary storage and things, but if you're going to be, like, doing anything with memory, you're probably using these. I am making this harder on myself by getting hit at the wrong times. Really cool. Because you didn't sleep. Yes, it doesn't have the decimal stuff because there was some sort of like issue, like a lawsuit around that time about the decimal stuff. I don't really remember. Biscuit knows a lot about this because he is all about the NES. This is what he has decided to do with the rest of his life. What's up, Steven? Good morning, not awake yet? Have you on the back row making breakfast? You good? I'm doing pretty well. I had a decent day. I almost saw some art. I did see a small amount of the art, but I was really hoping to see more of it. Turns out the exhibition that I had thought was going to be open for the rest of the week wasn't. And so I missed it. And when I went into the art store to look at it, it was kind of cool. The artist was there. She was like, oh, sorry. We had to put that down a little bit earlier, or had to swap it out a bit earlier than we wanted to, but there was another exhibition that we needed to do, so showed me a few of the pieces. Turns out she was the person who made the exhibition was the main artist for the exhibition I was going to look at, which is kind of cool. But I'd kind of assumed that would be more of my afternoon than it was. Like, quite literally, I was there for like 5 minutes. Then I wandered off and played pinball for a bit, and I panicked and did the wrong thing. But yeah, it's not the world's most complicated assembly language. It doesn't have a lot of the nice amenities I've gotten used to in, like, when you're coding in x86 or x64, such as more than one register. But it has a charm of its own. I think 6502 just straight up is a little bit nicer just because you're not doing the really annoying mode switching stuff. I can never remember exactly how you do it. Like, I wrote a little bit the other day, and it's just to see if I could do a thing. Nintendo Desi, was playing through a infamous Mario RPG hack called Armageddon, which is it's hard, and adds things like double-timed hits and things. It also adds a lot of flashing to the screen, which is a little bit of a problem. And so I was like, you know what? I can fix this. So I sat down with the code for a few minutes and was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dim the brightness register, because that's a thing the SNES has. I am making this worse. And I just need to do this, I just need to hook the end of NMI. And then I added an extra feature where you could turn it back to full brightness if you held L or R, because L and R aren't used, as far as I know, in Mario RPG, and I've played Mario RPG a lot. Keep in mind, Nintendo was always big on doing things at absolute bare minimum, which made for a really solid performance, but did need to understand what you're doing. I mean, yeah, I do think that the SNES does suffer a bit because it's such a dinky... like, the clock speed is just low. Well, in the Genesis, people were like, we have blast processing. What they really meant was our CPU can run at 3 times the clock speed. At the time, that was a lot. Now, I mean, I guess actually now, 3 times clock speed would be a lot too, but still. How difficult is it to learn any other languages? I mean, it's assembly language. So the thing about assembly is you need to break down every task you want to accomplish into much smaller pieces. That's the main, like, big thought for assembly. And every time you succeed in doing something in assembly, you feel really good. Even if it's something quite meager, because you got it working. But I'd say you don't need to know any other languages, but, like, be aware it's not going to be easy. Certainly easier than some assemblies, I could say. Never got the hang of things like subtract and jump if 0. Or subtract and jump if negative. Then you... and then really bad, you need to move on to the next step. Yep. Exactly. Blast processing is just having working VRAM rights during rendering, isn't it? I think it was just the fact that they could go fast enough they could do an awful lot of raster effects. It was literally just marketing press. But the Genesis does have a much faster CPU and a much friendlier for programming CPU, from what I understand. I think people really like the 6800 a lot more than they like the 6502 in the grand scheme of things. Nuts. Ads. Well, someone said it earlier. Oh yeah, I never actually finished the thought. That was a full self-service ad platform, and I played Adver Gaming on April Fool's Day. So, like, the Doritos Dash of Destruction, the best Doritos-themed dinosaur game. What else? Yaris by Toyota, which is I believe the first game that was ever pulled from Xbox Live Arcade, because it was just that bad. The only Xbox game I think I've ever crashed. And then, oh, what else did we play? Cool Spot, of course. Like, I think Cool Spot of, like, most of the Adver games I played is probably the closest to being a legitimately good game. Oh, and then I forgot, Sneaking. Sneaking is a legitimately good game. It's a bizarre game. It's a game where you're the Burger King king, and your goal is to stealthily sneak up on people, and then give them burgers. It's a very odd game, but you know what? It plays nice. Like, clearly an awful lot of work was put into it compared to a great number of other games. I try to implement something interesting every April Fool's Day, and sometimes people like them well enough I keep them around as channel point incentives. The ads one's definitely a big winner. The TTS is actually Hatsune Miku, provided by Vocaloid 2. Vocaloid 2 Miku does not speak English, but she tries her best. And she sounds hilarious while doing it. I really wish I'd actually made that. There we go. For this April Fool's Day, what did I do? I played the Vaporwave adventure game, Broken Reality, and implemented a not very good TTS. If you've ever heard the Angry Video Game Nerd bit on the Intellivision had a voice synthesis module you could plug into it. And I found an emulator for that chip and rigged it into the TTS system. I found a better emulator this time around. I've done this one twice. The first one, dear God, talking about Windows programming earlier, I had to actually like send Windows messages and things, which is a good old time, but still. That was bad timing. But yeah. Oh, come on now. There's one idea for April Fool's Day that I've had for a couple years that I just haven't gotten around to doing the legwork for. And I think this year will probably be the year I finally get around to doing that legwork in advance. Because it's going to require not only building some stuff, but I actually need to purchase a weird item. And then... I'm not going to finagle that out. And then I need to borrow another item from Squiggles before I can actually make it work. And probably do some OBS overlay nonsense, which I didn't even think about. But either way, it should be interesting once I finally get around to doing it. And April rolls back around. It's July now, so April isn't going to come around anytime soon. There we go. You know, that's the first time I failed that. Oh, actually, that doesn't even matter now. But that's the long and short of it. Man. Also, that's a block. This area down here is blocked off with Kaizo blocks. That's why I don't even try to survive if I get stuck down there. I've gotten soft locked in there a couple times by doing something dumb. But thankfully also due to the fact that I can modify RAM and whatnot. If I get stuck somewhere, I just use the kill command. And that will free me from my purgatory. Being a moderator in SMW Central, we occasionally just run into soft locks, and it's just so much easier than having to reset and lose progress. Just be able to kill the character and save my time. Of course, a soft lock's still a soft lock, and you cannot have soft locks in your hack if we're going to accept them. Or hard crashes, or anything of the like. I need to stop doing that. I just need to jump in between the two beans. Like, I'm certain. I wasn't certain. That's the end of that statement. I'm pretty sure I've seen the end of the section, or possibly the level. I just don't know which yet. I managed to troll myself into that situation, so... I was actually hoping to launch that over. This is fine. It's a good spot for it. Okay. Jump over. I'm shocked that landed me where I needed to be. I don't know what my thought there was. That was silly. In terms of modding, would 6502 still make sense? An idea for a great prank of a friend who also streams, but figuring out how to execute it would be difficult. Think about embedding a ROM inside another ROM that loads the embedded ROM on in the right conditions. Like, okay, big ROM. That would be tricky. I guess I need to know more about what you're thinking, but yes, you need to be writing some 6502 if you wanted to do that. If you think of something like have the game change to a different game, that would be kind of hard because of the way that the Super Nintendo works. All memory is divided into banks, and the lowest bank, bank 0, is actually kind of special because it also holds the interrupt table. What? No, this was not the right way of doing any of that, but whatever. It didn't work. But yeah, if you tell me a little bit more about it, I could give you some feasibility. Unless you're talking hardware, in which case, yeah, that'd be really cool. Very much in the Sonic and Knuckles class. Playing SMW, once they reach a predefined level, it loads Bart's Nightmare. Okay. Yeah, that would be tricky. You would definitely need to be writing some 6502 to do that, because again, Bank 0 is special. You could go and fix this up, because again, you're not, as long as you don't care to get back to SMW. Oh god, why did I do that? Could do that. They use the opposite ends of the memory map. That is true. That is a weird little coincidence, and it's worked out really well for them. The thing is, like, as long as it's just a complete takeover, you probably could do it. You need to change NMI out to be a... The whole point is to trick them into playing. They really hate it. Okay. It's feasible, but would be difficult. You need to relocate the 0 page, and you'd need to... You'd need to also make it so NMI is a pointer-based thing. Because right now, like, the way that interrupts work on the Super Nintendo, basically there's a table at the end of Bank 0 that is all 16-bit pointers. Which really is not any different than how the regular Nintendo did it. Worth to learn some ASM if you can pull it off. I think it's feasible. You could do this. If you already know assembly, which I assume you do know at least some amount, what I would suggest you should do, PR GROM can run anywhere without NMI or RQ. That's true, just a matter of modifying it so you could do that. There's a couple of documents that I find very useful. There's one called Full SNES that's on NoCache's site. Also would suggest if you're going to do... I killed myself again. Going to do any sort of Super Nintendo hacking, you should look into the emulator Mesen. M-E-S-E-N. It's written by a fella named Sour, and it has a really good debugger. Quite literally, I don't think I would do nearly as much SNES hacking, or NES hacking, because it supports both, without that particular debugger, because it's just so good. Like, I was always shocked when people said, oh yeah, no, I use the BSNES Plus branch. And I went and looked at that, and I'm like, because I needed to debug something, I was having trouble, like, with MSU1, and it wasn't behaving the way I expected it should on a real console, so I wanted to have a second opinion, and no, it didn't work. And I tried using the BSNES debugger, and I'm just like, no, this is not me. And that's any idea where you could find a detailed course in ASM? Been looking for courses online, can't find anything. I was making the world's worst version of PowerPoint. I think I showed it off on stream once, but basically I just wanted to move pictures from the MSU1 file and put it into on the screen. You need to do a refresher ASM wise, but you can do the research. Yeah. Now, if you know enough ASM, it's not complicated. It's not complicated. It just takes time. There are some weird pitfalls, but for your thing, I don't think you'd run into any of them. Yeah, I was trying to find that ROM earlier. I don't know where it went. It might be on the other card. But yeah, basically I was doing a thing. I was doing a little tech talk for work, and I thought it'd be cooler to use the Super Nintendo as PowerPoint rather than using PowerPoint. And it kind of worked. I ended up with some tile corruption that I could never fully explain. I think it might be the case that the SD card might not be fast enough, or maybe there's some other constraint that I... What am I doing? Not aware of. Definitely give MSN like a good call. Not difficult, learn ASM. Wise words from Carol, the hacker who made Brutal Mario, which has like a million different weird custom bosses. Speaking of PowerPoint, did you hear the guy who made PowerPoint complete? I think... Yes, I did. I think he was actually... I think he presented that at... Maybe I saw a presentation of that at POXI. But yeah, that was a funny presentation. I always do like the lighter side of computer science stuff. If you're not watching Tom7 on YouTube, he always puts out something for Sigbovic, the fake computer science conference that Carnegie Mellon puts on. The University of Washington's is POXI. But generally speaking, he produces a decent thing every year. Of interest. His harder drives video was kind of interesting. The finishing up Pac Tom was also pretty interesting. He had set himself a goal to run everywhere on every single street in Pittsburgh. And it took him a number of years to accomplish this feat. I want to say he was at it for like 14 years. Custom bosses that had a release before the 2008 April demo. So you can look at the inefficient code. Huh. That makes sense. Who paints Japanese landscapes with Excel. You keep providing me interesting things I'm going to have to look into after the stream. Yeah. Oh. Getting a lot of raids today. Oh. I will take a break from Pokey Purgatory for this. What's up, TJB? Thank you for the raid. How was the stream? Hope it was fun. Yeah, what we have to do. Thank you for the good luck. Clear the box now. I can do this. Well, that kind of worked out. This is just mean. There we go. Finally got the brick. Wait, no, I need the brick first. Dang it. Great, getting close to the end of 1,000-Year Door. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't played it myself. I actually asked Squiggles about this because I was curious since I was over at his place helping him out earlier this week. Or I guess it was last week because it was Sunday. And since he is a game collector, I figured I'd ask him if he had 1,000-Year Door, and the answer is no. He doesn't actually have much in the way of GameCube stuff. Just, really just Sunshine and the GBA stuff. In case y'all didn't know, there's a sort of like Super Game Boy for the GameCube that could play Game Boy Advance games and other Game Boy games. They could also do color and regular. Pretty sure. And yeah, if you want to capture GBA, that's the way to go. Use a GameCube. Just because it's kind of difficult otherwise. Nintendo makes systems that are hard to capture. Nature is healing. 1,000-Year Door, GameCube price is going down. Much of a reason. Nice. 1,000-Year Door remake was good. Nintendo went hard with the music. I've heard the remake's good. I like playing older games that I find. I don't know if I'd actually end up playing it. It was more of a, hey, do you have this in case I want to do this? Question to Squiggles. Since whenever I do run into, like, I need a specific setup for something, and I don't have it, he's the one to talk to. Remake with the OG music. Not nice. I do appreciate they allow you to choose. Like, Mario RPG was also really well done. Also use the Game Boy interface. Clearer capture from the Game Boy player. I didn't even know. Never played Thousand Year Door originally. So went in blind. See if Sony enjoyed it. Yeah, Mario RPG also lets you choose it. Yeah, it's a nice feature. I played Mario RPG remake last year. And that was really well done. Like, the bonus bosses were kind of silly since they were all, like, puzzle bosses. Except Johnny. Johnny and Double QLDC were basically just get good scrub the fights. Which I respect. But I kind of wish there was just a little bit more there. What was there was fun. I enjoyed it. You tell the people who are working on it had a good time, and that matters a lot. Yo. So, a thought that had occurred to me forever ago is I could just do this. If I remembered the Kaizo block. It's rather dependent upon that. Get good is not a command. I'm actually a bit surprised to hear that. You think somebody would have put that in there? God, get. One of the better tech talks I've seen was Linus Torvald explained to everyone at Google why Git is the best and they are all idiots. Which I think might, in fact, be the title of the talk. To be fair, though, I think Linus has pretty much won this. Nobody really uses SVN or CVS anymore. God help you if you're using Visual Source Save. Which is amazing, because it's none of those things. It's a product where all three of its parts of its names are lies. Actually, it might be visual. But you don't get the source, and it sure as hell ain't safe. In terms of source code repositories that are most likely to lose your data, Visual Source Safe, I think, is the grand winner. Mercurial. Yeah, Mercurial and Perforce have held on a little bit. And I think the reason Perforce has held on is because the games industry won't let it die. It handles large binary files a lot better. And that's something game devs care a lot more about than most people. Facebook doesn't, because the Git devs told Facebook to pound stand. What could they have wanted out of Git? Like, really, what could they have wanted Linus to do for them? Just weird. I'm certain there's an interesting story there, is all I'm saying. That is exactly how I wanted that to play out. Okay. No! Had to do with them insisting on a mono repo? That makes sense. That's also the problem Google had. It's Google 3, I don't know if they ever fixed it, but Google 3 was just this gigantic mass that had almost all of the data in it. Almost all the source code for Google stuff. Except, of course, for anything relating to search or ads, which was kept in a much more secure repo. And a few weird projects that nobody talks about anymore, like Google Desktop. Because Google Desktop was a Windows thing, and so it didn't actually make a lot of sense to keep it in their largely Java-y, Python-y world. Doubt that even exists anymore. I think Google Desktop's long retired. Wonder if anyone still uses Subversion. It wouldn't surprise me if there's, like... Ah, damn it. A few Subversion, damn it. From a security perspective, that always seemed both terrible and great at the same time. I mean, it was kind of great in the sense you could pick up and look at any given project's code if you needed to. And it allowed for great levels of code reuse. The downside is they had to invent better ways to build things because, dear God, that's a lot of code. Subversion, I think sometimes if you go... What's that website that used to be the open source hosting website? SourceForge. I think SourceForge might still have, like, CVS bindings that you could use with their site. But I think they now have Git bindings, too, so I don't know. But they were all in on SVN. Yeah, we... For the, for the assorted, like, coding... CTF stuff my friends did, we were still using self-hosted Subversion for a long time. And we finally stopped. Ah, there's a green bean there. Okay, this time will be different. Yep, that was different. I wasn't sure what he was gonna do, but I definitely know what not to do now. Also, dear God, that's just another midway. Glad GitHub lets you host binaries, so SourceForge sucked. It did. I mean, it was okay, but they definitely lost a lot of trust when they started, like, packaging ad stuff. Like, here's an installer that does this and it has spam in it. Thanks. Like, I get you need to make money, but still, that's definitely not the play. You know, I didn't expect to actually pick that up. But yeah, GitHub's nice in that regard. Like, GitHub's just convenient. Like, we use Git now because GitHub is convenient. That's really why. Pretty much everyone's transitioned to being like, yeah, Git's not that bad. We understand what to do now. Like, there's a fairly high startup cost to get Git. But once you do, it's worthwhile. Not according to that guy who couldn't find an exe for a program. There's a Python script. Oh, I'm curious. There's got to be a good story there. Okay, got the brick. Sherlock and the smelly programmer. I'm gonna keep spawning off more tabs to look at afterwards. There's already a bunch. GitHub's UI sucks for people who are just looking for binary. Yeah, it does. Like, the nice thing about... I mean, nice thing. It was kind of a nice thing about SourceForge was, like, there was clearly a big old button that was download this thing. The only problem, of course, is without ad block, there were also 4 other buttons that were just download this thing. Because, of course there are. It was a Reddit post. They were roasting the guy for a solid month. Like, the only big green button there is what spits out a git console command to copy paste. You have to know the release is tucked away in the middle of a sidebar. Yeah, that's not as good UI. But I mean, you can choose. I mean, you have the markdown space. You can choose to expose your release however you want to some extent. Ah, no. I kind of get the feeling that you're not supposed to be able to do that. I'm not sure why. I feel I'm outside of the parameters that were expected by this. Okay. Block. Get hit anyway. don't hit the block. All the way this way to safety. There we go. Finally got the H. Screw you, Charlie. Oh, man. Okay, so now, new area. Oh, hello. I have this. Hmm. You know, I should have seen that coming. Still swear they're potatoes. Alright. Now what? Ah. Oh, come on now. This makes me think of the space potatoes bit from Whitest Kids You Know. There's a Google search away from his solution. I mean, honestly, it's one of those, like, tricks of the trade. Knowing enough to know, you just need to Google it. And of course, things have gotten a lot better with regards to Googling things. I mean, they have and they haven't. Like, Stack Overflow exists now. Which, I'm still miffed about this. But Jeff Atwood owes me a damn hacker badge and never gave it to me. When it was in beta, I found a way to do a little bit of cross-site request forgery. And he said he'd give me a hacker badge, and never did. Sent a few reminder emails, never did. I don't know if they ever added hacker badges. Probably as a, we don't want to encourage this sort of thing. You can just Google it, doesn't excuse bad UX. Having to Google things a clear sign of bad UX. Yeah, I'd say that. It's not a sign of good UX. Oh, damn ice. Go away, potatoes. Have to learn what you're using, though, should matter. Yeah. I think when it comes to certain tools, though, oftentimes there's just a frankly ridiculous startup cost to even understanding what you need to do with them. Especially Pro Tool type things. Like Lunar Magic. Lunar Magic is not an easy thing to understand. There are times when people's answers are there, people are just impatient. Yeah. Fun fact, I'm a 1%er on Stack Overflow. I got in early, have a very low, I think I'm up by the lowish 3-digit user ID. And, yeah. I answered some relatively easy questions back in the day, and now I have all the points. And I still get more points every time I go. Or it's logged that I get more points. I haven't answered a question in years, or used comments, or done any of those things I'm supposed to do, because I have a million moderator points. But did not know I had to compile it himself. Learning stuff sometimes in the nature of what you might be working with, yeah. Yeah, there's no exe is very much a Windows problem. Not how we do things in Unix land. Must recompile everything. I haven't read the story yet, so I have no idea. Oh, you must hate me. I mean, actually, no. Hate some of the other judges. Hate the other judges. Not me. I wasn't a judge for this. I got lucky, and I didn't get lucky. Goodbye, potato. Sure, I shouldn't be expecting that, but a lot of the time people go to GitHub because they just want to grab a Minecraft mod on, so that's it. Yeah, this is definitely not the mode I use software in anymore. I'm on a Mac, or when I'm on Linux land, I just apt-get. When I'm on a Mac, I brew. Like, download a thing and install it. No. Just not done. Admittedly, brew is like the method of installing brew still squicks me out. It's like, here, just copy and paste this into your shell. No, I don't want to do that. But you have to. Because how else are you going to install shit on Mac OS? Don't have time to compile? Oh man, you gotta recompile. Everyone here's a Gentoo user. You gotta pop out the C flags. Fun roll your loops. And before someone says, no, it's not fun roll, it totally is fun roll. It absolutely is. Because you're having fun doing it. It's not F unroll, it's fun roll. Sherlock is an OS int tool. Saw his post and she was kind of glad for whatever particular victim he was too dumb to understand how to use it. That's probably for the best. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the story. I don't have time right now, though, because I'm dodging meatballs. Oh, come on. Why did that shatter? I don't think that should have shattered. Darwinix. It's just the next step of evolution. I'll see myself out. Alright. Like, I get almost everything. Oh, no, I don't get everything. I will say that ever since the first one, ever since the first QLDC, the difficulty ranking, the difficulty in these things has gone way down. Aside from a few, like, not entirely well, I can't say that about Memobee. Memobee, I think, was well-intentioned, but it still was what it was. But the 72-hour one and the last year's one, neither of those had things with ridiculous difficulty in them. Like these did. Actually, no, I take it back. I forgot about Hawaluta's level. Hawaluta's level was pretty high up there in terms of ridiculous difficulty in 72-hour QLDC. Alright, here we go. Okay. What now? No, you... It's not even a creative one. It's just demoralizing. Like, I definitely don't mind at least admitting when I've been got. But... New to GitHub and I have a lot to say. Okay, let me grab this then. But yeah, it can be used as distribution. Though I do think that changed. I think there was a specific time when that became the more dominant usage. Well, not more dominant usage, but became a bigger thing. Don't know if it was pre or post Microsoft acquisition, though. I want to say post. When Git started supporting LFS. What is LFS in this context? Large file size? Large file size. That's what it has to be. odd to think about things not supporting large file sizes, but you know, there was a time. Large file storage. I was close. Close enough. Now I'm curious when that happened. I'm not going to look it up. Okay. The problem is the more I think about it and try to time it, the more I psych myself out. So I just kind of go for it. This time, I'm going to remember. What the fuck is this? Oh. Gotta love the orchestra sting every time. What is going on with this ghost? That probably isn't my fault. Come on. There's no safe place to land. Suddenly survival section. Oh, thanks. First release of Git LFS is from 2014. Oh, so it is relatively new compared to GitHub. Yeah, it died, but it didn't stay dead. I apparently need to hover better. I need to not get hit. That's okay. I see how this is supposed to play out now. Still gonna practice just in case this happens to work out. Donk. 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 No! This is RNG nonsense. No! Damn potato. Let us all pray to RNGesus. It's all you can do at some point. RNG footballs are your favorite kinds of footballs? Understandable. I don't actually mind playing football. I mean, I certainly wouldn't play tackle anymore, but two-man touch or flag would be fine. Good exercise. Actually, no, I'm lazy now. I probably wouldn't want to do that. Wait, no, I think he's fully embedded in the wall, so I wouldn't be able to jump on him. You know, I think if it wasn't for the fact that footballs were complete RNG garbage, I wouldn't mind this. Here I was thinking, oh, quietmason was being nice, giving me a power-up so I can take one hit during this. Nope. Well, that don't sound good. Yeah, that's a lot of sirens. I wonder if there's a fire or something. Just have to look that up on the subreddit or whatever afterwards. Oh. trouble. Guess you have trouble afoot. Ball. Ooh. The game is afoot. Unfortunately. Funny thing, they call it football, but everything they do is measured in yards. You drive on parkways and park on driveways. What madness! Now, that becomes too tight of timing. Well, I've eliminated the RNG aspect. However, I definitely cannot do that forever. Alright, well, let's assume, instead of sandbagging, that it's still feasible to do this. I needed that to not hop high after the other high hop. Still getting over being sick a little bit. You know, it occurs to me, actually, that it probably isn't RNG at all. And in fact, I could probably, like, actually count footballs and figure out which ones are going to do which. But, didn't matter. We managed to do it. We took Pokey. Pokey defeated the footballs. And other things. Oof. That was a hard level, and I did it all legitimately, except for the one part where I went ahead a little bit to see just how long it was between sections. My hand hurts. Thanks to the GGs. That was a long level. Technically, no RNG in video games is RNG, it's PRNG. That's true. I mean, you could also, like, force some amount of RNG out of things by forcing people to use inputs and things and doing timers, but in the case of Mario World, that's not that's not remotely RNG because the seed is fixed at the point where you entered the room. And so every time you reset the room, I think the seed is reset to a constant value. So, anyway. Thanks for the GG.